Daniel, could we start with an update on the team news, please?
Yes, of course. So the group who was available for the last game is more or less also available. Gabi Gudmundsson is struggling after the last game with a bit of adductor problems. So we have had to leave him out of training today. He's an important player for us. I, of course, hope that he is available then for the game on Monday night. But the little question mark behind his availability. Apart from that, everyone came through the game without any problems, and that's more or less good news.
Is Anton back for the game on Monday?
Yes, also good news from our rehab department. Anton was today part integrated in team training, so no reaction so far. It looks like he could be available. Also good news from Daniel James, also yesterday and today, first time since a while, part integrated in team training. He's also pretty close to join us back in full team training. Of course, he was out for more than 2 months anyhow. It will last a bit till he's then also really fit and ready for the games. But also definitely good news with him, and for that, all in all, it's not too bad.
Everton have their own injury issues. Jack Grealish is out. What kind of challenge are you expecting from them?
I think it's quite normal on this stage of the season that sometimes also important or key player is missing. We had and have also the same, for example, also with Jaka Biol, who will also be out for this game. I think on the other hand, also important players from the Africa Cup of Nations are coming back. So I think each and every Premier League squad is also to prepare for such a scenario, and for that it doesn't take anything away that it will be a very difficult task for us. David, like always, is doing a fantastic job. You always see his handwriting on the teams. His teams are always with a really good team spirit, a really good togetherness, always set up very compact against the ball. It's never easy to open one of David teams and to create chances, and they're always unbelievably competitive. I think that impressive results also, especially in games against the top teams. So sometimes really also in away games, top performances like recently, and also good win. And for that, I expect a very difficult game for us. We have to be at our very best, need a complex performance again to give ourselves a chance. And when there is a chance to win some points, of course we want to go for it, but we have to be at our very best.
There's 11 days left of the transfer window. How confident are you about bringing in another signing before the deadline?
That's not the major issue, if I'm honest. So we have a capable group. So this group has made sure that we're on a good path, already on 25 points. Nothing is achieved yet, but we have definitely a chance to achieve our goals during this season, to stay in this league. We've progressed to the next round in the FA Cup, so this group is capable. And I made it clear even before, we won't extend our group. So the most busiest schedule, festive period, is already over right now. Of course, there is sometimes a week when we have 3 games, but also many normal weeks. And for that, it's not my aim to extend the group. So we want to keep the group tight. We want to keep our togetherness and our unity. And if we got the feeling, there is an option that makes us better, then we would do it. But you also know my attitude, that I think the genuine market is a difficult one. And for that, we are not in panic mode, not under any pressure to do something anyhow. We won't fall asleep. I think this is our responsibility during this window, to stay awake and to give ourselves the chance for the best possible squad, also for the run-in. But we will just do something if we're 100% convinced of the quality of the character, and also that it's the right price for the player. And otherwise, we go with what we've got. And I'm also confident that we are capable to achieve our goals.
Daniel, on the defender issue, obviously Yaka's still out, and you said you'd wait until the back end of the window to see if you needed replacing in any way. What about the young Nigerian international you brought in, Lennon and Ganga? Do you see him having a chance with the first team, or is it very much a youth and academy issue, this?
Yes, everyone who signs a contract for us, for Leeds United, has also the chance to be involved. It's always up to the to the performances, perhaps even on youth level, and then to impress in the games there and to impress in training. And if you got the chance to be involved in team training, then you got a chance. But this is also a signing for our under 21, so it's not like with the intention that we are greedy to involve him as soon as possible. It's more like a natural progress, and he will be with our youth. We will give him time to adapt, and it's not the plan to rush anything with him.
And with Yaka, has there been any sort of concrete improvement in his state of play with his hamstring?
Yes, so rehab progress has started. We spoke about, it's a bit difficult to predict, so I spoke about a time frame of 3 to 5 weeks. As it looks, it could be the more positive time frame for us. So 1 week is already gone. So and it's improving. He's already doing some stuff in the gym. So it means I hope to have him back in team training. So in 2 to 3 weeks. So overall, it's not too bad.
On the injury front, Daniel, there was a study done, it was on the BBC website today. It said Leeds have had 19 injuries in total today, which is the same as Arsenal, Chelsea and Tottenham. First team players, this is not suspensions. But it seems that you have a better recovery time. And you've talked about the medical staff being really good here. But the amount of injuries, is it still a concern for you with what is relatively a slim squad?
No, in general, it's always difficult to compare these cases anyhow, and you don't know the details about injuries and what is announced. Also from other clubs, I would be a bit careful to overinterpret such a statistic. Overall, you have to say, for me, it's important. I don't believe in a group of 30 plus field players just to have options, because it's never healthy for the spirit of the group, and you need a tight group. That's quite important. Especially when you don't have the best individual quality in this league, then you need a good spirit, and I think we prove this more or less on a daily basis how good our spirit is. And I think to have a bigger group would be risky in these terms. Yes, one thing is for sure, we as a newly promoted side always have to go over the line also in our physical output. When you have a look at more or less like the physical data, we are there. In the top 2, what it means about the physical output in terms of cover distance, numbers of sprints, high sprint distance. This proves that we are on a really, really good fitness level, but it also proves that we always have to go over the line, because we need to invest a lot. We can't just dominate games in the way we were, for example, doing this on championship level. And of course, if you always invest such an output, then perhaps the risk for a little injury is also a little bit bigger. But I have to say, so there were not many muscle injuries. It was more or less like an injury, very often either a contact or an injury during the game anyhow. And like I mentioned before, so lots of credit to Henry and this department. They're doing a fantastic job. They are working 24/7. I mentioned, so we want on the mid and the long term also speak perhaps about other goals than just staying in the league. In this department, we are already on Champions League level anyhow. I'm pretty pleased with our medical staff, with our physios, with our nutritionists, with our gym staff. They are really on top class, and so for that we are in a good position. But it's nothing what would concern me much. So in general, I think we are on a really good path, and that there is here and there also like a contact injury or something that happens. Yeah, you have to live with it.
And how about Facundo Buonanotte? How's he fitted in this week? And is he showing the signs of being the player that you expect him to be? Yes,
we will give him the time. So I don't want to calm the excitement of a new signing with him, a loan signing down. But I think for us, it's also that we were able to bring him in a really, really relaxed mode. So we believe in his character, we believe in his potential. He's a very exciting young player with lots of potential. But a part of the truth is also that he has not played much football recently. For that, we are convinced of his skills, of his potential, and we will give him the stage, we will give him the platform. He gets, we are there for him with open arms. He gets all the backing, all the help, all the support to work really to bring himself back into a top fitness level. Of course, if you didn't play much in the last month, it's difficult to be at your very best physically. It's also difficult in terms of confidence level and rhythm of the game to be at your very best. We'll give him a platform, but then it's up to him to go through the door. We just can bring him to the door, and then it's up to him. If he uses also this stage and this platform, he gets lots of backing and lots of support, and then it's up to him. So far he has presented him like we expected. Really nice guy, really good character, very committed in training, very skillful in terms of creativity and finding the pass. Of course, he needs a bit to get used to the processes, but listen, for me, it's also a healthy environment to bring him in. So we have sometimes the tendency in this business to be excited for some new names or some new incomings or whatever. We are not a club who is laying down, cut into pieces anyhow. We are on a really good path. So we are in a very healthy position. And for that, it's not like we bring a player in and this player has not played much and then he's already ahead of players who have done so well for us. It's more or less like he is more or less in the challenging position, and he has to prove that he earns a spot in the traveling squad and he earns a spot on the pitch and he earns minutes anyhow. And this is up to him to show this and present himself in this way in training. And he's doing well so far, and let's see what happens in the upcoming weeks and months.
And finally, Daniel, when you look at Everton, they've been swirling around the relegation for the last 3 or 4 seasons. Managers come in, obviously done really well, very experienced, and they're sort of safe. And in that next bracket of clubs in the Premier League, do you see them as a club to sort of aspire to now that things have calmed down there?
Yes, absolutely. So overall, it's manager of Leeds United don't like to praise the other clubs too much, but it's of course also a club of huge potential, and they have quality players, also very ambitious signing in the last summer. New environment with new stadium gives them also a chance for also to kickstart then also a bit what they want to achieve, and of course it's a club with a big history and a big tradition, and of course they have all the chances also to progress further on the table, and then not just to speak about being solid but also to make the next steps. But I don't want to comment too much on other clubs because I always be respectful, and also wouldn't want them to comment too much about what we are doing here at Leeds United. So my job is here to concentrate on this club, and I have more than enough to do in order to stabilize this club and to keep this club also on Premier League level, and then hopefully we can also speak about the next steps. But right now our whole focus is on earning the right to stay in this league.
Good afternoon, Daniel. 8 points between yourselves and the drop zone. Psychologically, are you feeling the benefits of that and the freedom that almost allows you to play with? Because as you say, you discuss this as a relaxed atmosphere, but the unique freedom that you play with, especially going forward, is quite rare, some would say, for a newly promoted club.
Yeah, relaxed in the sense of balanced. So we know that we are in a really good shape. We have proven that we can beat any side in this league, away or at home. We were there recently with top performances. If it was the top away performance at Newcastle, a bit unlucky ending, but also against a really good side. Tough place on James Park, and then to deliver such a performance. Home games, we have a fortress at Elland Road anyway, and this gives lots of confidence. There's no doubt about this, and each and every performance and each and every good result makes the belief also stronger and gives you more confidence. On the other hand, nothing is achieved yet. So 25 points at this stage is good, but if we stay on 25 points, it won't be enough. So we have to keep going. We need to win many more points, and there is no reason not to stay grounded, not to stay humble, not to stay modest, not to get carried away. We know if we are at our very best, and if we invest everything further on like we did also in the last month, then we have a chance to achieve our goals. But if we give 1% less or invest 1% more, or think, okay, right now we don't have to go physically over the line or in terms of team spirit over the line, then there is no chance for us as an only promoted side to win enough points in this league. And for that, I would describe the atmosphere as balanced, and I also don't see that we play with more freedom. I always want my players to enjoy football, even if we need to win points or if we need to win the title, like on the last game day last season away at Plymouth. I always want us to enjoy playing football and enjoy what we're doing. and we always play with freedom. But this doesn't take at any point the pressure away that we want to reward ourselves with results, and the good performances also with results, and we want to win points. And for that, yes, it's not like a free hit or something like this if we face a big name or we have an away game and we just concentrate on the home games. We want to win points in each every game, and for that we also feel the pressure for the away game on Monday, and we want to be competitive again.
Lucas Mecha, off the bench with the winner, you see how much it meant to him. It's been no secret that you've been able to score goals this season. How are you harnessing that competitive edge that now no doubt he's knocking on your door wanting to start? You've got Dominic in great form, you've got Noah competing. You have that competitive edge that must be great to utilise as a manager.
Yes, I think it's quite exceptional for a side who is the first time back in the top flight to be able to create so many chances. And also, although we could have been a bit more effective sometimes in terms of using the chances, at least in terms of expected goals table, I think we would be even in a way better position. We could have been a bit more effective at times, but overall to score so many goals is quite impressive, quite important. It's also a bit like a proof of our DNA, of our approach. We will never be happy just to park the bus and put the ball over the stand into the next river and hope that the time is over and we settle down with the 0-0. So we always want to be the protagonists on the pitch and want to be proactive and want to score goals. And this is how we play at home or away. But on the other hand, a good balance is always needed. And I don't judge my offensive players like Lucas, for example, or like Dominic or Noah just by their goals and their assists, also what they do for the team in terms of their pressing, the work against the ball. And there they also have to deliver. And nevertheless, I'm of course delighted that especially my offensive players have scored several goals. And for example, after last game against Fulham, against a strong opponent, although we were spontaneously missing many key players, we didn't even have to speak about it after the game. We speak right now more about like Lucas on fire or before Dominic on fire. And this is always a good sign. So it's good for my offensive players to score goals, to be able to deliver end products. It's a good, healthy competition also within the game, but also our spirit. Everyone is happy also for a teammate to score and to celebrate with them. Yeah, some of my players on the bench were even quicker on the sideline to celebrate with Lucas and some players on the pitch because they were more tired. This says a lot about our team spirit. And just when you have this spirit, then you're capable to have so many also impressive performances and also good results.
We talk about balance. You've conceded 1 goal or fewer in each of your last 7 in all competitions, so not too bad at the opposite end of the pitch. I'm not going to say it's newfound defensive resilience, but what have you put that defensive resilience in recent weeks down to?
Yes, quality players, quality work. We work a lot. Also, the focus, of course, during this season has to be a bit more on our structure against the ball and also how to defend against the ball. So we also change the base formation a bit more often in comparison to last season where we were dominating games. It was more important to have more clarity. Right now, very often you play sides who have a top individual quality. You have to mirror them a bit more. Execution is very often really good. There's always time for improvement, and I'm just 100% happy when we return back also with a clean sheet to the dressing room. This is why I was so happy with the Fulham game. Also, most recently a clean sheet away at Liverpool, but there were also games when a bit unnecessary we conceded, and for that, yes, we will also address this and also speak about this. So this balance is quite important, but again, the answer is always hard work, good quality players. Smart players who understand our organization, hard work, commitment, also physical output, not just from the defensive players, but we need this from the whole team. And if an offensive player is also not able on this level just to work against the ball, then it's difficult for a side who needs to invest so much to play for us. So everyone buys into it and gives everything. That doesn't mean that I'm 100% happy at the moment, because I think there's always space for improvement, but overall, we're on a good path.
Hi, Daniel. Are you at all hesitant to play Lucas and Dominic together from the start in games, given that Lucas is your most obvious cover for that lone striker role and given their respective injury histories?
No, not hesitant at all. We have done this, for example, also in the second half at Man City and the following home game against Chelsea. It always depends on the opponent. Most recently, we've played more with a 3-4-3 with one central striker and then more like the two other offensive players, really like in the pocket, like wide number 10s. And of course, he's not naturally a wide number 10. You could also perhaps see this in one or the other touch in the last game when he came in. He's not the player who is like a number 10 in between the lines and plays the final pass, who is unbelievably tidy with each every pass. But whenever it's more needed to be out of this position, for example, a bit more physical and for example to attack more the box, and we expect more crosses that you can also come out of this position and attack the box a bit more, then it's always a good option. We've done this sometimes during the game, sometimes also in the start. Of course, it affects also our structure against the ball. If you would play a bit more like with a player like Lucas, then you are a bit more perhaps against the ball in the 5-3-2. This allows you to strengthen the center a bit more, but you allow the opponent a bit more possession on the wings. And if the opponent uses wings a lot, then it's perhaps not the perfect way to set up against the ball. So most recently, we have played a lot against teams who have used also the wings a lot, and we need to set up then, if we were sitting deep in a 5-4-1. And then, of course, a striker is not a natural defender in a wide position. That makes it sometimes a bit difficult, but we are flexible and also capable to react whatever is needed during the game. So we can play there with a bit more like a winger type, like Noah Okafor. We can play there with a striker type, like Lucas. We can play there with a number 10, like Brandon Aronson or Facundo Buonanotte or Willy Gnonto can do this, for example. So it's good that we are flexible, and for that I also don't commit to just one type of player. So I think it's important that we stay flexible.
Jack Harrison's gone out on loan, so you must be content that doesn't damage your squad depth significantly. Do you think others might go as well, and what did you make of the Jack situation?
No, like I mentioned, so I don't expect a big fluctuation in this window. So for that, we've done too well, and we're not a club into pieces who needs to do something, and this has to work. So we can be pretty picky, and this is a good situation. Obviously, we have allowed Harry Gray for his development to go out on loan, and also Jack Harrison, because it was his wish to go out on loan. On the other hand, we've brought Facundo in, so it's a very healthy balance. Of course, theoretically, it would be space to bring perhaps one more player or outfield player in this terms, because Jack was then also, with his left foot, of course, also a natural perhaps backup option, or even on the wing-back position for Gabi Gudmundsson. This is something we are aware of anyhow, but I also don't expect a major overhaul right now. And yes, if a player is tempted to leave, but I don't have any indications, of course, our doors are always open, then we speak about it. But it's one thing is also for sure, we won't allow 4 players to leave. If a player behaves as professional as Jack, then I'm always open to listen to him, because it's a fact that he has not played that much in the recent weeks, but I have to say his workload in training, his behavior in training was always professional. I could always count on him. There were a bit talks ongoing even the days before, but you couldn't tell by his performances in training. Also, like when he was involved in the game, for example, he played on the FA Cup game and had a really, really good physical output. And for me, if a player behaves professional and is always reliable and you can count on him, then we are also open to listen to the wish of a player. But if a player wants to be annoyed and hangs around and wants whatever to provoke something or tries to be difficult to deal with, this is when I will never sanction a loan. Because for me, it's important that you always show that you are in the driver's seat and that you also choose or also expect these players earn a lot of money, and for that you can expect them to behave in a proper professional way. But if a player behaves professional like Jack has done, I would have preferred him to stay with us, because we don't have that much wing-back options. But if then it's his big wish and he has behaved in a top way, and he has also arguments because he has not played that much. And I think then we're also open to listen to the wish of the player. But if the behavior is not spot on, then definitely not.
Hi, Daniel. Just following on from your comments there, obviously Jack has gone, and hopefully Gabby will be okay for Monday. But who do you see as your sort of primary left-back option now?
Yes, we have different options. Of course, there is not a natural left wing back with a left foot in our squad. That's definitely for sure. And for that, like I mentioned, in this position, if there is a perfect option, we won't fall asleep. That's definitely for sure. But we have also other options. So we have with James Justin, the player who has played more or less the same amount of games, also on the left back or left wing back position. Of course, he can play also there. It's perhaps not natural replacement because he's a right-footed player, but he definitely can play there. Sam Byram has played a lot for us, also as a left back. He can also do this. Yes, and then there's always perhaps also a chance to position there a more offensive-minded player, like we've done, for example, also with Willy Gnonto on the right side for the recent games in the FA Cup or in the final stages of the Fulham game, to do the similar situation on the left wing-back position. Always depends on what is needed in the game, and if you chase a game or if you have to defend a bit more, it always depends on which questions are asked during the game.
Can I just speak to you about Noah Okafor as well? Because he had a really bright start, and we still see what he's doing today in terms of taking on players and being ambitious. It just seems as though that last bit is not quite there at the moment, whether it's a final pass or whether it's a finish. What do you make of his recent form and also how he started life at Leeds?
Yes, like you have described, his start to life for us was there with goals, with assists. Of course, he's a player who has a special ability. There are not many players out there who can take players on, and this is something that is his big skill, also to get the ball and drive the ball forward and bring the game to the opponent's half and also beat players in one-against-one situations. He's also physically strong, especially when he faces the opponent's goal. There are, of course, also challenges in this game. With the back to the opponent's goal, he can step up sometimes, a bit more tidy in between the lines. Also, his workload against the ball was recently way better. There was a period when I criticized this a little bit, but he's making progress in this terms. And right now, also it's up to him to deliver more end products because. Yes, we have also competition in the squad, and it's also important for an offensive player here and there to be there with a goal, with an assist. But for me, it's also important, like, for example, the goal against Chelsea, the third goal. Dominic got lots of praise for the goal. But I would say 95% belonged to Noah because he was chasing the first, the second player, then the goalkeeper more or less down, won the ball there, and it doesn't count as an assist, but he put so much pressure on the goalkeeper that Dominic had probably the easiest goal of his life. And this is what I want also to see. And in these terms, I also see a lot, but there is definitely space for improvement. And like for all the others, more or less like everyone has to deliver. Otherwise, there are also other options in the squad, and Noah gets lots of backing, lots of trust. And it's up to him also to repay the trust and to keep going.
You managed expectations on Facundo and his fitness, and obviously it's going to take some time for him, which is completely fair. When he does get up to full speed, what can we expect from him? Why did you want to bring him here? What will he add to your team? What will he bring that's different, maybe?
Yes, Facundo is, first of all, a very young, very talented player. Otherwise, you don't earn caps for the Argentinian national team. He is a very skillful player who has this special bit of creativity that is quite rare also on the top level of football. So he has an unbelievable strong left foot, is really good in his positioning in between lines, has also the ability to be really quick in his head. It's more like before we receive the ball, he has already the solution in his head for the next ball. He's capable to be there with a through pass, to be there with a final pass. He's capable to score goals. His set pieces can also be outstanding, but again, there are many reasons why we were so interested and why we wanted to bring him in, because he has several skills that we were perhaps missing a little bit in our squad. But I'm not tempted to praise him further on too much, otherwise you would think he's already Lionel Messi. So there are also challenges, and a second part of the truth is that in the last months he has not played much football, and he has played for clubs on Premier League level, and they didn't play him on this level. And there are also, of course, a few challenges in this game, and where he has to be there. And for that, it's not like I roll the red carpet for a new signing who comes in this situation. It's more or less like I back him. He has lots of trust. He will feel our support and also our belief in him and our love, but it's up to him to deliver. It's not like an easy route. He is in the challenger role, and for that he has to overtake more or less the players who have done so well. I think this is a way more healthy situation than in comparison you bring a signing in and then without any proof he comes straight away into the starting lineup. And I think we are in a quite healthy position, and I think it's also definitely good if Facundo is capable to stand up to this challenge and to earn a space in the travelling squad and to earn then his minutes on the pitch. Then he's also capable to shine, and we'll see what he's doing.
Ethan was your first signing in 2023 when you first came, and since then he's never really looked back. When he's been fit, he's virtually in your team, and he's constantly risen to the challenge as you've set him and now become a very key captain. Has the way in which he has been able to control Premier League games this season surpassed even your expectations? Is his trajectory surpassing what you expected from him this season and the level he's playing at?
No, because I always loved him. I tried to sign him already when he was 18 years old on loan. When I was in Norwich, I always believed in him as a player, and I followed his career quite closely. And I've also seen that there were also perhaps a few seasons when he was not quite there on this level. But I always saw the potential in him, and not just his football skills, but also his skills as a natural born leader in the group and also in the dressing room. And how he has developed over the last couple of years is remarkable, impressive, and all the words are needed. So as much as I'm hesitant to praise a new signing before he played a minute for us, all the praise for Islam Badu is rightly and well deserved. And I mentioned several times, he is one of our most important, if not our most important player. He is more or less the glue between offense and defense. He is also a role model and embodies what Leeds United is all about. Top character, hard work, very skillful, always on the way to improve. There's still a few topics I'm consistently complain about, a bit unnecessary yellow cards, or sometimes then there is always one or two passes in the game when he's not 100% concentrated and focused. I think there's even more to come, but definitely his performances were more or less like Rolls-Royce performances over the last couple of years, and he's such an important player for us, and long may it continue.
Hi Daniel. When you talk of flexibility, is there room for both Facundo and Brendan Aronson in the same side, or would that compromise your midfield stability?
For good football players, there's always room. Good football players can always play together. It always depends on what they also are willing to invest against the ball. Also in terms of physicality, always depends on what you need in the game. Yeah? If you need them two players to win headers, then probably Facundo or Brennan are not the best players to go for. Or if you need physicality or whatever, so it always depends on what you need in the game. But of course, good football players can always play together. It always depends on what you need in the game.
And what do you think to Carl Darlow's recent performances? And is Lucas Perry closing on a return to the starting lineup?
Carl Darlow returned back to the dressing room with a clean sheet. Yes, and when you go back with a clean sheet, then you always are there with a top-class performance as a goalkeeper, even if you don't have really one save to make, but then you have organized everything in a proper way, then you have organized your defense, yes, or you were just lucky that the defense was so good anyhow, but you can't ask for more than to return back for a goalkeeper with a clean sheet. So very happy for this, especially in the first game after being out for a while. So for that, there is no need to speak about a change anyhow. So we wanted this clean sheet at home, the first since August. We've got it, and Carl was really solid. of course, there's always, like, when you have not played for such a long while, there's always one or two scenes with the ball or perhaps in the positioning and decision making that you could improve, but the major stuff, anyhow, to organize the defense, to be there when once needed, was spot on, and for that there's no need to question him at all. With Lucas, I spoke about him in my last press conference. There is a chance for him right now also, like, to press the reset button, to get a set down, to work even harder in training, to impress in training, to bring himself in the best possible shape, in the shape why we have signed him. And then there's always a chance for a road back. He's a very, very skillful goalkeeper, and right now it's up to him, to prepare himself in training, to train on the top level, to deserve then the next chance. And when the next chance is coming along, then he has to grab it. This is how professional football works. Always a chance to be back, yes, of course.
Ross is going to do his questions under embargo. If we can turn cameras off now, please. Thank you. When you're ready.
Hi Daniel. David Moyes has managed over 1,000 games in his career. Most of them have been in the Premier League.